final event before the pentathlon, Simon says.
All right, yeah, let's swap it. Guys, what is up? Welcome to the fan favorite at Streamer Games. Time for Simon Says. Now, things are going to work a little bit different this year than last year. We're going to have qualifier rounds. So one person from all 8 teams are going to submit one player. Whoever wins that Simon Says round qualifies their entire team for the finals, meaning they will not participate in any future qualifying rounds. So whoever the first player their team brings out should be their best player for Simon Says. Then we're going to have 7 players compete. Same idea. Whoever wins qualifies. 6 teams. Okay, the teams that qualify don't have to play again. Until we have 4 teams. Or is it 5 teams? 5 teams are qualifying for the finals.
5 teams?
I think so. Hey, can I get a round of applause for our host today, Steve?
Hey, everybody. Hey. Ludwig, before we start, just want to say, I do like 100 Simon Says shows a year, arenas around the country. Can I tell you something? Your streamer fans here today are the best. These guys are bonkers. Bonkers!
You don't just say that everywhere you go.
I don't say, well, I do say that, but today I mean it, man.
Okay, all right.
I mean it.
All right.
Amazing!
I appreciate that. Shout out, Steve. 5 qualifiers. Is that right? So 5 qualifiers, aka 5 teams are going to qualify for a big finale game where 25 people are going to participate, and that will determine who wins Simon Says. The 3 teams that don't qualify are going to enter a loser's game. All 15 of them are going to compete for 6th, 7th, and 8th place. And points today matter because right now Team Jason is just 2 points separated from Team Agent making it to the pentathlon. Plus, if Team Vanilla wins this game, they're going to have a big advantage in the final game. Does everyone get it? Everyone make sense? That's all good? All right. Lovely, lovely. Now, let me confirm. We're going to have them face which way here? All right, let's flip it. Let's flip it. I want y'all to face the crowd. Back up, though. Back up. And then, Steve, I want you on this side.
Wait a minute. Ludwig, you're pulling an audible?
I'm pulling an audible. Yeah, I want them facing the crowd here. All right. Competitors, I'm going to let Steve take it from here. Everything he says is Bible. If he calls you out, you're out. There's no complaining. Steve, take it away.
Thank you, Ludwig. Hey, are we ready to play? All right. Now listen. I always feel like I got to be fair because I do this every single day of the year, and you don't. So I wanted to give every team that plays a quick warm-up before we officially start eliminating. Sounds good? All right, here we go. Simon says hands up. Simon says hands down. Beautiful, hands up. Now, no. Now, you understand, right? Simon says hands on head. Simon says hands up. Simon says hands down. All right, now it's official. If you make a mistake, you're gone. You ready? Are you ready? Yeah! Here we go. Simon says hands up, Simon says hands down, Simon says run. Simon says stop, hands up, hands up. Simon says hands up, hands down, hands down. You moved, you're out, you're out. Simon says hands down. Faster, hands up. Simon says hands on head. Simon says tap. Simon says stop. Hands up. Simon says hands up. Hands down, and hands down. Hands down, and you're out. Simon says hands down. All right, here we go. Now we pick up the pace.
Let's go, Toes!
By the way, let me just ask. Simon says, can you hear the commands? Okay, little iffy? All right, maybe if they can crank it a little bit, there's a little iffy hearing. Here we go. Simon says up, Simon says down, Simon says up, Simon says down, Simon says head, Simon says hip, Simon says head, Simon says hip, Simon says head. Simon says tap, Simon says stop. Hands up, you moved, you're out. Simon says hands up, hands down. Simon says hands down. Faster. Simon says shoulder. Simon says opposite shoulder. Simon says run. Simon says stop. Hands up, you're out. Oh, she's. See, I love the intensity of this game. He goes for the fist bump, right, just to be sort of respectful or whatever. And she's like, I am not moving. I am so serious. I want to win this. She is so focused. I love it. All right, here we go. You ready? Simon says fist bump. There you go. All right, here we go. Simon says hands down. Simon says take a step apart. And here we go. Simon says put up your left hand. You're out. Winner, round number 1.
I saw his right hand go up, so I put my right hand up.
Yeah, he lied to you, bro.
Ludwig, that whole right-left thing is so funky.
Yeah, sometimes I do this and then it spells out an L.
It does spell out an L, doesn't it? Oh, man.
All right, I need the next 8, I need 7 competitors. Team Foosley, you are through to the finals.
All right,
7 competitors.
Right here, close here.
You're right here.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Who are we missing? Emily, get in there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's go, people. Here we go. Simon says, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. Warm up. Warm up. Hands up. Nobody saw anything. Simon says hands up, hands down. Let me tell you who's. Simon says, if you win, it would be so amazing at this point. All right, here we go. Simon says hands down. Here we go. But seriously though, if you do win, it would be the best thing ever if you won now. All right. You got the mistakes out of your system. She's taking her glasses off. She's not even looking at me. She's looking at the ground. All right. Official, here we go. Hands up. Look at that, you're still in. I love it. Simon says up, Simon says down. Simon says touch this, hands up. You're out, and you didn't touch your ears. You're out too. Yes, no. There they go. Oh no. Simon says, just a little tidbit, when people don't look at Steve Max, the master of Simon Says, I say touch this, and then they look up and it's too late, and that's why she's out. So for the future, remember, keep an eyeball on me. Simon says hands up, Simon says hands down. Faster, hands up, you're out. Simon says hands up. But wait, you get a parting gift. There you go. Here we go. Simon says wave it around. Simon says stop. Hands down, and hands down. Simon says hands down. Beautiful. Let's go faster. Simon says head. Simon says shoulders. Simon says head. Simon says shoulders. Simon says run. Simon says stop. Simon says lean forward. Stand up straight. Simon says stand up straight. Hands up. Hands up. Simon says hands up. Hands down. Hands down. You're out. Simon says move down. Simon says stop. Simon says hands down. Here we go. Simon says take a step to your right. Good. They're cheering for you? All right, here we go. Simon says hands up. Simon says give me a big jump. Woo. One more. Woo. Hands down. Hands down. Simon says hands down. Faster. Simon says head. Simon says hips. Simon says head, Simon says hips, Simon says head, Simon says hips, Simon says head, Simon says tap, Simon says stop. Hands up, hands up. You're out, you're out. You're out! Yeah, you're moving on to the finals.
Lily!
Congratulations. Congratulations. Nice job.
Lily, you qualified your entire team. I need 6 competitors to come on down.
Oh, man.
6 competitors with the exception of Team Jack and Team Foosley. All right, guys.
Here we go. Oh, man.
Woo! I'm going to flip it for the finals.
Oh, man, oh, man.
I'm going to flip it for the finals to get the crowd shot on the back screen.
All right.
Can I get some more sunscreen?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 is 6. Here we go. The warm-up. Simon says hands up, hands down. Simon says hands down. Simon says hands on head. Simon says tap the head. Simon says stop, hands up. Simon says hands up. Simon says hands down. Yeah. I like the guy, even though he's not playing, the guy in the orange shirt back there. You are. I love him. I love him. I know you're not standing on a chair, but it seems like you're standing on a chair. I can see every move you make, and I look forward to you being up here closer to me, my friend. That's all right. Here we go. Here we go. You ready? Official. Simon is up, Simon is down. Simon is up, Simon is down, Simon is run, Simon is stop. Hands up. You're out. Simon says hands up, hands down. You're out. No. I'll let it fly, but you got to stay. You got to stay. Simon says hands down. Faster, hands up. Simon says hands up. Simon says head. Simon says hip. Simon says head. Simon says hip. Simon says nose. Simon says tap the nose. Simon says stop. Hands up. Hands up. Simon says hands up. Wave it around. Wave it around. You're out. You're out. You move. Simon says hands down. Simon says you stand on that white line. Simon says you stand on that line. Simon says face each other. Simon says give each other a running chest bump. Simon says go. So, all right, Simon says face me. Ready now? Yeah, it's better for TV if you're closer. Here we go. This is it now. Simon says little pinky shake. Go. Nice. Nice. Hands up. Nice. Simon says hands up. Hands down. Nice. Simon says hands down. Faster. Simon says up. Simon says down. Simon says shoulders. Simon says down. Simon says shoulders. Simon says down. Simon says run. Simon says stop. Hands up. Simon says hands up. Hands down. Simon says hands down. Run in place. Run. We have a winner! Come here. Come here. Look at that guy. Yeah. Yeah. Woo!
All right.
So tiny. The tiniest move.
We're getting down to the wire here now.
Oh, man. Ludwig, how's everything with you?
It's going good.
Everything's good?
For your information, there's a bit of a war going on.
Yeah?
Because the top 4 teams get to move on. The bottom 4 are out.
Right.
And so you might notice red and purple have heightened emotions.
Yeah.
Because if purple does 2 spots better than red and Simon Says,
right,
they move forward.
Ah.
If red just beats purple, they're through.
Okay.
So there's this battle going on.
A lot of colors going on.
A lot of colors going on.
All right, well, let's...
We still got 2 spots to give away.
2 spots to give away.
2 colors are going to win.
Simon says take a tiny step back.
Take it away.
Sir. All right. You ready? Here we go. Oh, man. All I know is, and I'm not partial. When I do Simon Says, I don't have a pony in the race. I just love coming out here, being out here with the amazing fans, being out here with these guys. I'm walking around. I'm from New York. I'm walking around the block, and a neighbor comes out and says, "Were you on the streamer games?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm such a gamer." And he was like so into it, and I had no idea the guy. And now, so to be here with you people who have hundreds and thousands and millions of followers playing this is just, it's made my day. So thank you very much for having me. All right. And by the way, a little shout out to my yeah. Wait a minute. And by the way, Simon Says a little shout out to my lovely wife back home in New York, she's watching back home on the YouTube, and she's like, Steve, Vanilla is crushing it. I don't know. So, all right, here we go. Warm up. Simon says up, Simon says down. Simon says head, Simon says shoulders, hands up. Simon says hands up, hands down. Now, Simon says hands down. Now, You were good earlier, right? You won the tablecloth thing, right? But okay, I'm wishing you best of luck, but I don't know. Here we go. All I know is you got knee pads on for Simon Says. That's all I know. All right, here we go. You are serious. Simon Says, get down on your knees. Yeah, there you go. Simon Says, stand up. That was the most comfortable for you. All right, hands up. Simon Says, hands up, hands down. Simon Says, hands down. Faster, hands up.
You got this, Super!
At least he looked good with the knee pads. Simon Says, put up your left hand. Simon Says, wave it. Simon Says, stop. Right hand up, both hands up.
Come on, Super!
Simon Says, just one step to your left. Simon Says, hands down. All right, here we go. Looking for another spot in the finals. Simon Says up, Simon Says down. Simon Says up, Simon Says down, Simon Says head, Simon Says shoulders, Simon Says opposite. Simon Says tap, Simon Says stop, Simon Says back this way. Tap, tap, tap. Simon Says tap, Simon Says stop. Hands up, hands up. Oh no! Simon Says face each other. Simon Says give each other the official Streamer Games double high five. That's it. That's it. That's exactly right. Simon Says face me, please. Here we go. Who's going to move on? Who's not? Simon Says run. Simon Says stop. Simon Says run. Simon Says stop. Simon Says jump. Hands up. Simon Says hands up. Run in place. You did a little move. You're out. You're in the finals! Oh, man. Oh, wow. The competition is real, Ludwig. The competition is real.
It's fierce. And here's the deal right now. This is our final qualifying match. Can I get my final 5 competitors up here? Who do we got? We got Arky. We got E-Rob. We got Caroline. We got Sam. And I need a representative from Team Agent.
What's going on, brother? Good to see you. It's been only a minute.
Yo, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Everybody watching in the crowd right now. If, Sonny, I hate to put this pressure on you, you do not qualify, Team Jason will be moving on. So there's a little bit of pressure on this Simon Says, but I believe, give it up for Sonny.
All right.
Steve, all you.
Oh, man. All right. Guys ready? All right. Simon Says, wish you all the best of luck. Simon Says, best of luck. Simon Says, best of luck. Simon Says, best of luck. All right, here we go. The warm-up. The warm-up. Simon Says one hand up. Simon Says put it down. Simon Says other hand up. Simon Says put it down. Simon Says both hands up. Put it down. Nice. Put it down. Nice. Put it down. Nice. And put it down. Seriously, Arky, put it down. Nice. Simon Says put it down. All right, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Nice. Simon Says loosen up. Simon Says loosen up. Yeah. Loosen it up. Yeah. Simon Says stop. Here we go. Simon Says up. Simon Says down. Simon Says up. Simon Says down. Simon Says head. Simon Says hip. Simon Says head. Simon Says hip. Simon Says nose. Simon Says hip. Simon Says nose. Hands up. Simon Says hands up. Hands down. Simon Says hands down. Hands up. Hands up. Simon Says hands up. Wave it around. Wave it around. Simon Says wave it. Simon Says you didn't wave it. You're out. Huh? Did you move it? You were contemplating. You might have to. I hate to do this for you, but you're gonna have to contemplate over there. Contemplate over there. I have to. Sorry. Give her a nice round of applause. So close. Yeah. Simon Says hands down. You know what the problem is at this point when there's so much on the line, right, to fill that last spot, even the tiniest little move is gonna, get you out. So, and you guys didn't move. She moved it a little bit. Here we go. Simon Says face each other. Simon says give each other a funky, on-the-spot, made-up handshake. Simon says go. Simon says face me, and here we go. Who's filling that last spot? Simon says run, Simon says stop. Simon says run, Simon says stop. Simon says head, Simon says hip, Simon says head, Simon says hip, Simon says nose, Simon says belly, Simon says nose, Simon says belly, Simon says nose. Hands up. Simon says hands up, hands down. Simon says hands down. Run in place, run in place. Simon says run. Simon says run. Congratulations, Team Emily. Oh, man. It's like I'm looking at poor Arky. I'm looking at him. I'm like, run for God's sakes, run. And he's looking at me like I owe him money. I don't understand. Oh, man.
Well, we finished through the qualifying round. Stevie did a great job getting everybody out, but now we're going to do one of our final two big games. For this first game, I need everybody from Team Vanilla, everybody from Team Agent, and everybody from the third team who I'm forgetting. Cinna, you're in? You didn't qualify. Yeah, this is the loser's game. Yeah, so you're in. Team Agent, Team Cinna, Team Vanilla, get up here. All 5 of you, each team. Come on, get up.
So this is called the big losers game?
Yeah, it's like a loser's bracket game. It'll differentiate whether they get 6 points or 7 points. Yeah, it's for points at this point.
Yeah, I just hate the name losers.
Yeah, we should change it. This is the consolation bracket.
Okay, the consolation bracket.
The consolation bracket. All 15 of you guys, if you could line up.
All right.
All 15
Here,
of you
line
guys.
up along the top of the 50, please.
Line up along.
Here, everyone line up along the top of the 50, the 5-0, yeah.
Huh? You can line up
be
next to your teams,
whatever.
that's fine, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
You don't have to be with your team if you want to move in. You can spread out a little bit. Here we go. Anywhere, it doesn't matter.
All right, right now you guys are competing
Right now, what
for
is-
the difference between 6th, 7th, 8th place.
Is that a sunflower? What
which
is
will
that?
matter
Is that
if you're in the top 4.
Is that the streamer game mascot? I'm sorry. What
Yeah,
is
we
it?
got Mogi. Mogi will compete.
Okay. All right.
We got
Flag-
Mogi in there.
all right.
Shout out
Here
Mogi.
we go.
All right, take it away,
Even
Steve.
in the consolation bracket, we do a warm-up. Here we go. Only because I come here with love. Here we go. Simon says hands up. Simon says hands down. Simon says lean this way. Lean this way. Simon says lean this way. Simon says stand up straight. Simon says up. Simon says down. All right, you ready? Here we go. Consolation. Simon says hands up, Simon says hands down, Simon says head, Simon says belly, Simon says head, Simon says belly, Simon says head, Simon says tap, Simon says stop, hands up, you're out, you're out, you're out. Simon says hands up, hands down, Simon says hands down. Faster, hands up, hands, oh no. There you go. Simon says move down. Simon says move down. Simon says move down. Here we go. Here we go. You ready? Simon says up, Simon says down. Simon says one hand up, Simon says both hands up, Simon says wave them around. Simon says run and wave. Simon says stop, hands down. Simon says move down. Simon says stop. Simon says stop. Right here is good. Move down, please. Move down. Simon says move down. Stop. You're out. All right, here we go. All right. Wait a minute. You want? Is that it? That's not a thing, right? Wait a minute. Hold on. I feel bad. You know what? I feel bad about the whole flower thing. My friend, you're back in the game. Yeah. Whoa. I didn't say Simon says you're out again. You're just, yeah, all right, here we go. You are that flower. Simon says, yeah, sorry, flower. All right, here we go. That flower is wilted. Here we go. Simon's his hands down. All right, here we go. This is for points. All right. All right. You'd be wise to focus. All right, here we go. Simon's is up. Simon's is down. Simon's is giving me a big old jump. Woo! One more. Woo! Hands up. All right. All right, here we go. We still need a winner, right?
It's a show of love, Steve.
Wait,
it's a show of love.
you didn't win yet. What do you do? Oh, you want to say, oh, you did win, but you didn't. Okay. But we need to see who's going to, let's just see who's the better of the two. Let's see who's the better of the two. All right? You ready? Here we go. This is just now for bragging rights amongst you guys. All right? Obviously, all that contemplating paid off. All right, here we go. Summit is up, Summit is down, Summit is up, Summit is down, Summit is nose, Summit is belly, Summit is nose, Summit is belly, Summit is ear, Summit is nose. Hands up. Summit is hands up, hands down. Summit is hands down. Faster, hands up.